Welcome back. We have a very important topic, as are all topics in 3X, of course. But this one is a lot on ACTs, SATs, but specifically it's going to be throughout the units throughout 3X. So we have two parallel lines. M is parallel to N. And then we have what we call a transversal, maybe we'll call it T. As you see, it intersects twice and it makes 8 different angles. And what's nice is this gives us a lot of information. And we're going to talk about the names of these angles that we formed, and then, like I said, some of the relationships between them. The first one we're going to look at is corresponding angles. Now, if you remember with triangles, corresponding angles were the ones that were in the same spot. And that's going to be the same thing with parallel lines in a transversal. Corresponding angles are in the same spot. So if you look with angle 1, we're going to look at this group of 4 with this bottom group of 4. Angle 1 is corresponding with angle 5. Angle 1 is corresponding with angle 5 because they're in the same spot. Upper left of this one, upper left of this one. How I like to think about it is back in the day I was a four-square master. I love that game so much. And if I made a little four-square board here, I'd be in that server position and server position down here. So with that same mentality, what do you think angle 2 is corresponding to? Hopefully you say angle 6. Angle 3, lower left, angle 7. Okay, let's get rid of some of this hubbub. And then lastly, we have angle 4, corresponds with angle 8, or is a corresponding angle with angle 8. But if you notice, I just said they're corresponding. That's what the spots where they're at. But it looks like there might be a relationship with these. Angle 1 and angle 5, they look pretty similar. And we wonder, well, maybe if they're congruent, that would be a nice relationship. So we start there with a little experiment. Now think about this. Let's say this is a piece of paper, a yellow piece of paper, and underneath, if you see, sorry about that. Underneath, if you check, I have a blue piece of paper. But what you could do is have 2 pieces of paper and fold them. Let's say I fold across this black line and I fold on the red line, just like we did with vertical angles. But then I move them. And notice I highlighted an angle underneath. And I move this red line all the way up so that it just keeps extending. Now if you notice that, what happened was, I know this angle was the same as this angle because I folded it. Folding it is a nice physical representation of congruent angles. But as I went down this transversal, if I make it one line, look at these black lines. What do they look to be? Well, in fact, they are parallel, because these corresponding angles are congruent. And that is a huge piece of information, the corresponding angle assumption. Now we might call it, we might call it a postulate too, that it's just an accepted fact. We showed this physically, that all corresponding angles, if the lines are parallel, are always going to be congruent. So that's where we start. We have 3 pieces of information right now. We know corresponding angles are congruent. This is the symbol for that. We know vertical angles, and that vertical angle theorem makes vertical angles congruent. And then we had linear pair postulate. The linear pairs are supplementary. And what's nice about that, using these 3 pieces of information, you're going to prove some other relationships. For example, in your homework for tonight, I'm going to give you the spots of alternate interiors and alternate exteriors. But I'll mention this later, that you're going to prove why this relationship works. So first of all, alternate or alternate. How I think about it, when you alternate in a game, you go back and forth, switch sides. So when we're talking about that, we're alternating across the transversal on alternate sides of it, either on this side or on this side. Alternate interiors are the ones dealing with the inside of the parallel lines. In between the 2 parallels, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are interior angles. So an example of an alternate interior, let's look at angle 3. Well, angle 3 is on the interior. Then I go to the other group of 4, I'm looking at 5 and 6. Well, 5 is on the same side, so it's not alternate. It has to be with 6. Okay? If we look at angle 4, that's an alternate interior with angle 5. Now, part of your homework, or what I want you to do tonight, is write a proof for me, statement of reason form, of this relationship. Why do you think angle 4 is congruent to angle 5. Right now I'm just assuming it. But remember, there's 3 things you can use. You can use corresponding angles now. That's one you can use. You can use linear pairs, and you can use vertical angles. So think about 4. Start here, and I got to get a relationship with 5. Maybe I can go down to 8. Think about what 8 is. Hopefully you're saying 8's a corresponding angle. I know those are congruents. Okay, so hopefully you see where my hints are leading you. But I want you to show that 4 is congruent to 5 in a statement, reason, proof. The other one I want you to prove is an alternate exterior. Okay, alternate exteriors. Exterior is on the outside of the 2 parallel lines. So here's the exterior, here's the exterior of that. So some examples of alternate exteriors: angle 1 and angle 8. Okay, notice on opposite sides of this transversal, but they're way on the outside. Okay, second group, angle 2 and angle 7. The second statement, reason, proof I want you to do, statement and reason, is show that angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. So you'd start with M is parallel to N. Make sure you always write your givens, have to do that. And then go from there, and your last statement will be angle 1 is congruent to angle 8 for some reason. Always have those reasons. Okay. So if you need to, you can stop that, try that now. I'm going to go on to same sides. Same side interiors and same side exteriors. Obviously, we're looking at the same side of the transversal now. Still interior and still exterior, but same side interiors would be angle 3 and angle 5. Then we also have angle 4 and angle 6. So notice they're on the same side of the transversal, tucked away nicely inside of those 2 parallel lines. But then the relationship, 3 and 5. Do 3 and 5 even look close to congruent? No. So your third proof that I want you to do for tomorrow is show that angle 3 plus angle 5 is 180 degrees. Or we say that's supplementary. Again, use your corresponding angles, use your vertical angles, use your linear pair. Don't use alternate interiors or exteriors quite yet. Try and just use corresponding angles, vertical angles, and linear pairs. And that'll be the same for 4 and 6. And your last proof, I know there's 4 tonight, but once you get one, I think you'll get the hang of it. Exteriors, or same side exteriors. Angle 1 is a same side exterior with 7. And guess what? You're going to prove to me why those are supplementary. Okay, so 3 and 5 show me that those are supplementary, prove to me. Then 1 and 7 are also supplementary. And then the other set of same sides, angle 2 and angle 8, are also 180 degrees. Okay, hopefully these make sense. The spots are very important. You have to name them off. What we might try in class is just call on you. I'll give you 1 and 5, and you got to know the name. 2 and 7, and you got to know the name. But then, of course, what your homework is drawing those or writing those proofs for those specific angles, whether they be congruent or supplementary. As a recap, if you like nice gridded recaps, corresponding angles, again, are in the same spot. The relationship is that they are congruent. Alternate interiors, congruent. Alternate exteriors, congruent. So notice the word alternate. We use alternate interiors quite a lot. I don't know, it just happens to be in a lot of problems. Congruent. Same side interiors, if it has the word same side, supplementary. Okay, those two are going to be supplementary. So again, you have 4 proofs for tonight. Try those out. Statement, reason, form. Again, you should be using corresponding angles are congruent. You can use vertical angles are congruent. And then linear pairs are supplementary. Try and use those 2 things. Maybe a little substitution along the way as a hint, but try those out. Have a good night. Have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow.